Hello, good day, and welcome to the IELTS or the International English Language Testing System Orientation. So before we start, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Princess Fire Scale Kalentungan Mangoba. I am an instructor in the University of Southern Mindanao, Department of English Language and Literature. So I am the one who actually started this review program with the help of our dear Mayor, Attorney Russell Abonado, and our Vice Mayor in the municipality of Mlang, Vice Mayor Joselito F. Piñol. So we started because I was requested by Sir Nan Osera to conduct this review because I have been teaching for 4 years to my Chinese students in regards with IELTS test preparation. So, however, because I am supposed to give birth this month, I cannot be there with you personally because, yeah, I'm going to have my delivery soon. All right. So, anyway, okay. Let's start off with the first batch orientation. So our program started last October 2021. All right? So ito yung first batch orientation namin that we conducted here in Lang Town Hall Rooftop. So, however, there are a lot of people who actually joined the orientation, but our first batch of class is actually really special kasi kokonti lang sila. They are actually only 12 people or 12 students who actually enrolled in our class. So, as the time goes by, yung 12 na wala. Okay, we only had a couple of people left here for our first mock examination. So, in regards to that, because most of all of our students who had the IELTS examination actually had a 100% passing rate for the batch one. So our dear mayor actually has given certificate for the first batch. They were really glad that we started this program, and then we were able to help out those individuals who really wanted to pass the IELTS examination because by the way, this IELTS review is the first IELTS review in North Cotabato. So, hindi lamang lahat ng mga estudyante namin is from North Cotabato. Some of them are actually from different parts of the island. We have from Davao, we have from Jensan, we have from South Cotabato, we have from Bukidnon, and other places. So I wasn't really thinking that it would continue until we go over with the second batch orientation with the help of my dear students. They are the one who actually have given this initiative to find students who would like to share, who would like to join and be part of this review process. So for batch two, konti pa rin. We have a couple of people in here. Okay, and I was really thankful to my family, especially to my mother and my sister. They were actually my first staff to have this review, and they were helping me out throughout the process. So, just like I said, yung una marami. Hanggang in the last class, of course, kukonti na lang. So, just like you see here, konti na lang yung aming mga estudyante for batch 2. And of course, this is our mock examination. I don't know if you are familiar with some of our students in here. We have JJ Soralta. He is actually already in Canada right now. We have Sir Rico Saison, and he was already in United Kingdom. They are already there. And of course, we have Sir Clarito Falsis. And yeah, I think they're already in New Zealand. Yeah, but anyway, some of them are still processing their applications abroad. So ayan. Then we go over with the batch 3. So batch 3, medyo madami-dami na po kami. We have a lot of people who actually joined us. So I don't know if you know some familiar faces. You have Sir Ago, we have Sir Ronel Canque. Ronel Canque is already in United Kingdom. Sir Nick Frades is already in New Zealand, and so many people in here. So yan sila ang aming batch 3 students. And of course, we have our batch 3 mock examinations. As you can see, ayan na po sila. Okay, and some of them are actually working abroad already. Now, let's go over with the batch 4. Ayan. Okay, we actually conduct a 1 versus 1 speaking activity in this review, and it would be really helpful for you because we conduct it face to face, and of course we can really coach you thoroughly in terms of speaking. So ayan, usually whenever we have our mock examination, we gather together and then we prepare food so that everyone could share kasi the test is quite difficult because you have to spend 3 hours continuously. Uh, wala po yung interference or something. So continuously yan siya. Of course, this is the mock examination. Okay, and this is our dress code. So during the mock examination, you will be tasked to dress appropriately, the same thing with what you will do in the actual examination. Don't worry about that because we will further discuss this in the later classes that we will have. So, ayan, we also have the final coaching. The final coaching naman, we will try to help out with the things that um, you needed to change, no? Kasi sometimes during the mock exam, may mga pagkakamali pa rin. So that is why we have a final coaching. And of course, we will give you your test results form para you will know what area or what subtest saan kayo medyo nahihirapan. So we will be helping you out. So that's an example here. We have Sir Ged Somayo as well here for from the USM Palma campus. Okay, ito naman ang aming batch 6 mock examination. So we have our staff here, yung mga nakaputi. That's what we call the interlocutors. So they are the one who will help out with the examination process. And ayan siya, that's the test results form that we give during the final coaching. Okay. All right. And you have the batch 7 in here. Okay, and the batch 7 mock examination. So ayan po ang aming mga samples ng mock exams. Okay, so ayan ang aming staff. All right. I'm sorry I forgot to include Sir Alan Sarce in here kasi I haven't updated my PowerPoint presentation because I was really busy with my preparation for my delivery for my second son. But anyway, okay. So I would like to share to you the journey of our students who actually completed their review and of course who have taken the IELTS and now they're already working abroad. Okay, so we have Sir Ian Canabe, our CAP, okay, from batch 1. He is already working with FMW, that's his agency. So he is now in United Kingdom. Okay? So ayan yung mga application process, of course, in Carhill Meat Solutions in Canada. So they're about to be deployed. Marami-rami sila dito. We have Ellen, we have Jory Mark Penuela, and we have Franklin, and marami po sila, including my brother-in-law, Don Mangoba. So, of course, we have also application processes going through to Kilcoy, Australia. Ito ang aming team Matalam from batch 5. Okay? Yan, si Ka from, he's already in Scotland, UK. So we have our press kasi ang tawag natin dito kay Sir Joe M. Caminia. So ayan po sila lahat. They are already in the United Kingdom. And of course, we have Ma'am Rats Palmenco. Ma'am Rats Palmenco is actually working as a caregiver as well. So, yung program namin dito for the IELTS, it's not only intended for butchers or meat packers, but also, of course, for those who are working in healthcare services, just like midwifery or caregiving services. Okay, so ayan. From Kidapawan City. Okay, and of course, in Canada, we already have Sir JJ Soralta from me, and he is actually employed in Maple Leaf in Manitoba. So, ayan. Okay, now let's talk about what is IELTS. So, IELTS stands for International English Language Testing System. It's designed to assess the English language ability of people who intend to work or study where English is a language of communication. So, where are those places that language is the English is the language used in terms of communication. So, of course, we have the three countries, which is in the inner core. We have Australia, United Kingdom, and the United States. But then in Canada, we needed IELTS because it's still part of North America and it's widely used. And their second language, by the way, is French. So kailangan talaga yan siya ng mga employers for you to assess if you can communicate, if you're competent enough to be working, or maybe in God's will, you will become a permanent resident in their country. No? So the IELTS test result is only valid for 2 years. Okay, remember, it's only for 2 years. So the band score is awarded per subtest. So the subtest that we are talking about here is the LRWS. So L stands for listening, R stands for reading, W stands for writing, and S stands for speaking. So band score ranges from 1 to 9. So the highest is 9. Of course, the lowest is 1. Actually, the lowest one is actually 0. So if you will get a 0, it means that you did not attempt to take the test. So automatically, 0 ka na dyan. Okay, so ayan. Okay, so there are a lot of employers who actually have different kind of band scores na kailangan nila in terms para doon sa kanilang mga future employees, you know. So just like for example in Canada, they needed a band score of 4 for listening, writing, and speaking, but they just needed 3.5 for reading. But however, for example, in Australia, they needed the band score of 5, while in United Kingdom, they needed a band score of 4 in all subtests. So that is why you have to make sure that you already know what is your target score. But in our review, I do encourage our students to go beyond that. Like for example, yung passing score ng band score ng agency or ng employer ninyo is only 4, but you can make sure na para pasok talaga kayo, you try to aim for 6, you try to aim for 7. So that pag kumbaga kung babagsak kayo, of course, pasok pa rin kayo. Okay? So that's the strategy. So we also have 2 modules for IELTS. So first, we have the academic, and the next one is the general training. So when we say general training, this is intended for those individuals who wanted to work as a skilled workers, or who wanted to apply for permanent residency, especially for New Zealand. For actually in New Zealand, they do not need IELTS upon entering, but they needed IELTS if they wanted to apply for permanent residency. While the academic one actually is for students who would like to study in a postgraduate or graduate program abroad. Of course, meron din yung sa mga doctors, nurses, they needed the academic module. So there's also two types. So we have the paper-based and the computer-based. So paper-based is just like what we will do in our review. We are preparing you for a paper-based examination. Okay? So lahat ng mga materials namin dito are actually from Cambridge University Press and they're all authentic. So sometimes merong mga topics kami or we have a couple of questions, especially sa speaking, na lumalabas talaga sa examination. That is why it is a really good advantage, to actually have a review in using an authentic materials na ginagamit din ng mga test centers. So, yan siya. However, we have the computer-based. So, if you are a fast typer, okay, I recommend you to do the computer-based. So, what's the difference between the two? So, yun na nga. Siyempre, computer, you need to use a computer. While paper-based is a traditional mode of testing. Sa computer-based, you just need 3 days, okay? 3 days for you to get the result. So it's quite faster. However, for the paper-based, you needed 13 days. Okay? They will give you the result after 13 days. So depende na po yan sa inyo if saan kayo comfortable. But moreover, we can discuss that or you can discuss that to us in our future classes. Okay? So there's also a lot of questions going on regarding with the IELTS regular and IELTS UKVI. So remember that actually this test, yung IELTS UKVI, is only intended for test takers who wishes to go or migrate in United Kingdom. Okay? So, yan kaya siya tinatawag na UKVI because it stands for United Kingdom Visa. So, you cannot use this one if you will try to apply to Canada or in Australia. Kasi para lang talaga siya sa UK. But you know what? The only difference is that the IELTS UKVI is recorded. So, for example, once you enter the room, you are already recorded. May mga CCTV facilities sila. Meron silang mga camera for them to check you upon entering. However, in terms of format, the content scoring, the level of difficulty, it is the same with the IELTS regular. So, basically, yung mga estudyante namin who takes the IELTS UKVI and IELTS regular, pareha lang po yung review nila. So do not be messed up, okay? Or do not, huwag nyo masyadong intindihin kung ano ba yung difference ng dalawa kasi pareha lang po talaga yan sila, okay? So, yan. Ito yung sinasabi ko. It's a video recording and there are CCTV facilities to check out. No? And of course, the LRWS and all the IELTS tests are completed within the same day. So, for example, the LRW will be conducted 9 a.m. to 12 o'clock or 12:30. And then, yung speaking yun naman will be around 4 p.m. So, isang araw lang yan siya. However, for IELTS regular, sometimes nauuna yung speaking a day before or a day after. So, yeah. Okay. So, this is the IELTS test format. So, we have the LRWS. Listening is for 30 minutes. Okay. Reading, writing will be 60 minutes. And then the speaking will be very short. It's only 11 to 14 minutes. Okay. So, ayan. For listening, we have 30 minutes and then 10 minutes chance for time. So, we have 40 minutes there in total. And there are variety of test questions. So, we have the multiple choice, the matching, the plan, map diagram labeling, of course, the completions. Okay, I'm not gonna say it one by one, but you can see it on the slide, no? That we have a lot of completion. So we would be helping out throughout this review kung paano ba yan siya sasagutan and what are the strategies you needed for every sub-test. Okay, So, of course, for the listening, we have 4 sections. So, first one is actually the easiest part. It is a conversation between two people in everyday social context. Madali lang yan siya. However, the section 2, section 3, that's quite the average level. And of course, the section 4 is about an academic subject, which is quite longer, and it's the difficult level. Okay? All right. So for the listening, the skills assessed here is to understand the main idea, of course, in the specific factual information. They wanted you to recognize opinions, attitudes, purpose of the speaker, and follow development of an argument. So they are testing if you can comprehend or you understand what is the speaker trying to say. So yan yung purpose ng ating listening test. Okay, now let's go over with the reading. Now, for the reading, actually, we consider this as the most difficult sub-test in the IELTS because you need to spend 60 minutes and there is no chance for time. So sa 60 minutes, that is 40 items. So basically, you will just get around 1 minute and 30 seconds to answer every questions that is asked. Okay? Or every statement na kailangan yung i-fill up doon. So it is divided into 3 parts. Section 1, Section 2, and Section 3. And remember, for an hour, you have to read, no? That's 2,150 to 2,750 words. So it's quite difficult, especially if you are not a reader. And of course, for males, because most males doesn't like to read. So yeah, but yeah, okay. But anyway, there are types of questions as well that we needed here. No, that we have to make sure that we understand because in every question format, there is a strategy. Okay, and of course, Sir Alan will be here to help you out with the reading test. So we have the multiple choice, the true false not given, which is actually in the Philippine context, we are just used to do the true or false. Diba? Wala namang not given na ginagawa or binibigay ng mga teachers natin, especially in high school, of course, or in the university, in the college, wala namang ganun. So dito, you will be tested and you will be challenged. And what's the difference between not given, of course, and false? So ayan. They also have completion in terms of reading test. So yes. Okay. So section 1 is actually the simplest one, okay, or the easiest level. So it contains 2 factual or 3 factual texts, no? And topics are relevant to everyday life in an English-speaking country. Section 2 contains 2 factual texts focusing on work-related issues, while Section 3 contains 1 longer, more complex text on a topic of general interest. So, wag kayong nataka, especially for Section 3, if 2 pages yung babasahin ninyo because it's quite longer. Okay, so, ayan siya. For the reading test, they are trying to assess your reading for gist and for reading for main ideas, for details. Can you try to understand the inferences or the meanings that implied on that specific text? Can you recognize opinions, attitudes, and purpose? And can you follow the development of an argument? That would be the skills that will be assessed in the reading test. Okay. All right. Next, we have the writing test. So writing test will be 60 minutes in total. So there are 2 tasks that you needed to complete. For the general training, you have the task 1, which is the letter writing, and the task 2, which is the essay writing. Okay, so I believe that you have already encountered writing a letter before, right? Ginagawa natin yan elementary, high school, okay? But of course, we do understand if you're trying to, there's still some errors because marami naman sa atin na hindi talaga nagsusulat every day, especially we are already in an advanced technology generation that we uses our phone all the time, no? So usually we write emails and stuff. But yeah, this is what they needed for the general training writing test. So we will be helping out with, you'll be helping out and we will be giving you templates and we will check thoroughly in terms of writing naman. So for the writing test, it is, the skills assessed here is to test your ability to write a response which is appropriate in terms of the following. So they will be checking your grammar, your vocabulary, your accuracy, the organization of ideas, the content itself. No, if you have answered the question or the statement that is required for you to do so. So yan siya for writing. Okay, and the last one, we have the speaking test. So for the speaking test, we have 11 to 14 minutes. So this is the shortest test that you will have for IELTS. So nakalagay dito a face-to-face interview with an examiner. However, because of the pandemic, they started to have an online interaction with the examiner. So of course, you know, the speaking test is recorded, no? Most of the IELTS regular speaking tests are conducted via Zoom. And then when we are talking about IELTS UKVI, they are actually testing you, or the examiner will be interviewing you. Sometimes sa IDP, they conduct face-to-face. Yung sa iba naman, Filipino yung examiner. Okay, so that kind of like depends on you if saan ba kayo comfortable, kasi sometimes ang mga Filipino examiner, they are more strict than the foreigners. Okay, so first part, no, may tatlong parts pa rin po ito. So the first part, we have an introduction and an interview about, you know, common topics or general topics about you, about your job, about your home, about your neighborhood. Yun yung mga examples. Well, for the part two, it is a long-term conversation that you'll be given a task card and you have 1 minute to prepare and you have 2 minutes to talk about the topic that is given to you. Okay, and of course we have the part three, which is what we call the two-way discussion. So this one is quite longer because the examiner will be asking further questions related to the topic that you got during the part two. So the questions can give the candidate the opportunity to discuss more about the issues or ideas. So there are a lot of people are actually scared of the speaking test because they kind of think that, you know, I do not speak English. So that is why they're kind of hesitant to communicate. But always remember that we always have a strategy to do so. So we will be teaching you that in the next couple of weeks. Okay, so ito naman yung criteria for speaking test. So we have the fluency, the vocabulary range, the grammatical range, the accuracy, and of course your pronunciation. Okay, because pronunciation is really important in terms of speaking. Kasi naman po, for example, if you are trying to say something like, this morning I ate chess. And then, of course, if I am a native speaker and I hear the word chess, yeah, I would say, oh, he tried to eat a game, because you know chess is a game, right? So instead of saying cheese, he said chess. So that means there's a miscommunication between the two. So that is why pronunciation is also very important. Okay. All right. So here, this is the band score. Mas may copy kami nung mas thorough pa nito. So this is our what we call that, the basis of how we will grade you, or how your examiners will grade you during the examination. So for the listening, if you wanted to get a band score of 5, you just need to get 16 out of 40. For the reading naman, medyo mataas kasi sa reading. So, for example, if you wanted to get 5, you needed to get 23. Okay. So, ito naman ang sa writing. So, we have task 1, achievement and response. No, that's 25%. Coherence and cohesion, lexical resource, grammatical range and accuracy. Okay. And of course, that's 25%. Sa speaking, the same thing, 25%. In 4 criterion areas, we have the fluency and coherence, the lexical resource, grammatical range and accuracy, and of course, your pronunciation. So all the 4 criteria are equally weighted during the test or the examining of your skills. Okay, now let's talk about how to register in an IELTS exam. So it is already included in your tuition package on how will you register the IELTS exam. So in the Philippines, we have 2 partners. We have the British Council and the IDP Philippines. Itong Cambridge, University of Cambridge ESOL examination are actually doon lang sa selected countries like Australia, United Kingdom, yeah, United States or Canada. No, yan sila. But for the Philippines, we will just be focusing on British Council and IDP. Okay? So there's a lot of grapevine that we have heard na mas madali lang daw ang IDP and British Council. Do not listen to that because the answer is no. They are the same. Okay? Pareha lang po sila. Lahat ng mga ginagamit nila is actually from the University of Cambridge University Press. So ayan, this is the British Council page. So British Council does that PH. Okay, and of course here we have the IDP. Ito po yung IDP page. Okay, so the test fee before, okay, ito pa, 11,990, but now mas 11,900, I'm sorry, it's 11,994 the regular IELTS and 12,354 IELTS UKBI. So before, mas mababa pa po yan siya. But then I don't know why, mas mataas na siya. So you just have to prepare around 12,500 or 12,000 peso if you wanted to wish. That is the same thing, I mean, if you wanted to take the test. So that is the same thing with the British Council. Pareha pa rin din po yung test fee nila. Okay. So ayan yung before, that's still 11,650 during the month of April. Then month of May, nagtaas na sila. Okay? So ayan. Okay. So of course, if you will be taking the IELTS, you needed your identification. So I believe you already have your passport, no? If you do not have your passport, you have to make sure you have your SSS, GSIS, UMID, or PRC ID. Okay. So another thing, the tuition fee is 4,000 pesos. And if you wish to withdraw your enrollment, 1,000 peso will be deducted during the first week. Furthermore, there will be no refund the following weeks. Okay? We will be deducting 1,000 peso for the first week, but then wala na, hindi na kami magbibigay ng refund to the following week. And of course, we have to get your tuition fee, no, on the first week or during today, because ayaw na po namin mangyari yung mga nangyari in the past. Just like I have told you earlier about yung sa mga previous batches na yung una, marami sila. But then in the end, konti na lang. And mahirap po masyadong maningil kapag ganun. And sometimes it would just be a thank you. So, you know, we are actually spending a lot of money in here. This is a very cheap review center compared to others. No, that they would actually asking 8,000 peso or 10,000 peso or even 15,000 peso for your tuition fee. Dito we only spend 4,000 peso. No, and lahat ng materials ninyo, they are already free, and we give thorough assessment. So yeah, we just wish for your cooperation for this one. Okay, so Thank you very much for listening. If you have further questions, feel free to contact me in my Facebook page, Princess Farid Scale. You can also message directly to Mlang Intensive IELTS Review, or you can also email me at pfkmangoba@usm@dadu.ph. And of course, you can always ask our staff for further questions. Okay, so I hope to see you all soon. Once I recover, I will be there with you during the review. So thank you very much once again.
One item for the rest of the items. Sinasakripisyo mo yung one item for imbis na makakachamba ka pa sana for the rest of the items. So we will know that later.
As work, study, hobbies, and holidays or maybe your interests. Okay? Ang nilalaman ng part 1 natin.
Define support, it's your one, it's the details. Okay? It's the facts. Ano yung facts? F-A-C-T-S, ha? Yung spelling ng facts doon, ha?
Scanning, ano ba? Skimming and intensive reading, o, diba? So parang everything is interconnected. So from reading to writing. Kasi it's impossible